thought you had a strike-free news week, fresh industrial action is looming, I'm afraid, because today marks the start of a two-day strike by 38,000 workers at BT Group and Openreach, who are walking out over pay. The Communication Workers Union described a £1,500 pay offer as insulting. BT says it marks the biggest pay rise they've offered for 2 decades and an 8% increase for many of those workers. Around 40,000 BT staff walked out last month. That was the first industrial action in 35 years at the company. So my predictions of a winter of discontent, they seem to be coming true, it gives me no pleasure to say, with refuse workers striking across Scotland, literally turning cities into rubbish dumps. Plus, we've had stoppages on the trains, of course, buses, postal workers and dockers, and even criminal barristers. They're preparing to walk out this coming Friday. Well, GBNews reporter Will Hollis joins us now from Lincoln, where workers at a BT call centre are striking. Will, what's the mood behind you, not only among the strikers, but among the passing public?
Yeah, of course, we're on a really busy road here in Lincoln. You've got the main Lincoln High Street just a few metres away from us, and you do have lots of people pipping their horns. There have been a few people who have said things that maybe contest the values of what the CWU workers are here striking for. But there's no point hearing it from me, because we have got a couple of those workers who are speaking to us today, Lim. We've got James and Tom, who are workers at Openreach. First of all, just so people understand, what is it that you do for Openreach and how important is it to the country, James?
So we're responsible for building and maintaining the telephone communications network. So your internet, your broadband, everything comes over that. So we're responsible for pulling that in, installing the new fibre network, and just making sure everything's working for it on behalf of the service providers.
And it's for everybody, it's not just for BT, everybody uses that?
For everyone, so PlusNet, TalkTalk, Sky, they all use our network.
So it's a pretty significant job, and when 38,000 workers from Openreach and BT stop doing that job for 2 days, what kind of an impact might that have for a couple of days?
Well, basically, it was just trying to hinder the company a bit, make them realise what we're worth and the value we provide to them.
Because you've been working all the way through the pandemic, it's a 5% pay award that they've been speaking about that they gave you in April, but I think that wasn't a dispute, it wasn't a negotiation. Why have you decided to go on strike today then, Tom?
Well, I think it was a bit lower than 5% for myself personally, and obviously inflation's running at, 13% now, predicted to go higher. It's just not good enough offer. The CEO has had a much bigger increase in his package, 32% increase. It's just not good enough what we've been offered, unfortunately. And the effect of the cost of living crisis, inflation, that's probably having a big impact on why you've actually taken that decision to strike today. Yeah, everyone knows prices are going up. I've noticed my food bill's huge compared to what it used to be. Fuel, energy, especially energy for me, that's a big one. So yeah, it's a struggle, and with winter coming, it's only going to get worse. James, it's a tough time. What sort of problems are you facing as somebody, just like all of us, who's having to pay your bills that are going up?
Well, you can't not turn on the TV and look at the news now and not hear about the cost of living crisis, the energy cost caps going up, food's getting more expensive. I've got a mortgage, I've got bills to pay. It's just stress. It's constant stress that you're hearing everything's going to be charged going up, and this pay rise does not meet inflation. So our pay packet's basically getting squeezed.
There are lots of strikes going on at the moment. RMT rail strikes, that's affecting your trains. If you live in London, tube strikes, Felixstowe, lots of strikes are happening, and not everybody does agree with it. What conversations have you been having with maybe your friends or people you know that don't necessarily agree with it, and how do you kind of win them around to why you're doing this?
Well, I think it's important to understand, I think most of the public do generally support strikes, but if they don't, end of the day, we don't actually want to be on strike. We feel like we've been forced into this position by an unfair pay offer. And when you hear our CEO's getting 32% and his owner offering us 4%, I don't feel that's fair. So we don't want to be on strike. We feel like we've been backed into a position where we have to strike.